So, what makes you feel like a man? Okay, so the other day when I was running, there's this house over here, and I'm gonna abbreviate this. So I passed somebody over here, and I'll embellish a little bit more in the real conversation. I passed somebody. As I passed him there on my left, I was jogging towards downtown, taking my normal route to Main Street, and then I just do a 3-mile loop and then turn around. As I headed out towards Main Street, away from my house, this guy was walking to his garage with his chrome walker, real slow. Yeah. And he's making his way to his garage. Yeah. And
Are we recording?
Yeah. But this is pre-talk if you don't mind. But so then he does have a caretaker. I have seen her many times. I do believe there's a slightly tumultuous relationship between the two, right? Yeah. Because she's doing her job, and he's probably an old man. I don't mean this in a bad way, because he may be somebody's relative, but he's an elderly man who was at one point, my guess, super capable.
That's right.
I mean, if he's doing the stuff that you're talking about, he's doing in a wheelchair?
No, he wasn't in a wheelchair. He's in a walker. So he's walking, but he's got that thing that kind of surrounds you, and you walk it forward with your hands. Yeah. Anyway, so on my way back, as I approach the house, I see the caretaker sitting on the front porch. Right. And then I'm like, oh, someone's cutting his grass. No, Billy Bob's cutting his grass. Billy Bob's on his riding lawnmower, getting it. Dang. And I see him, and I wave, but he's probably like, well, who's that weird gay guy, right, waving at me? Like I'm
with his hair
I'm into women, fluttering in the wind,
yeah.
So anyway, who's that? Hey, Bon Jovi, get the hell out of here! So anyway, so then as I was jogging, I was like, wow. So he's probably been waiting. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that when we have it again. Yeah. So anyway, so then shortly after that, Fernando, you posted one of our episodes. Yeah. Okay, you posted it to one of the local sites, like Lake Station or something. Yeah. And I just wasn't in the mood one day. Yeah. And I looked down, because you're very tactful. You normally just like and laugh if someone gives us a negative comment.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in the mood that day.
Yeah.
To put up with like some just like generic.
Yeah. They get me sometimes.
Sometimes it just bugs me, man. And the guy's like, and it happened to be an episode that didn't have a lot of views. So he commented, and he's like, 129 episodes and 34 views. Why haven't you given up already?
And it was at this point that we began to plot an assassination.
That's right.
And then my eyes rolled in the back of my head, and then I started and normally I would rein that back in, but I was feeling it, right? I'm like, it's time to troll.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I went back and forth a few times with him.
Yeah.
But anyway, he made me think. So I just want to tell him thank you, because he made me think, why do we do what we do? So then I started thinking about that guy and why he has to mow his lawn. Yeah. And I started thinking about, what are the things that make us feel like men, and why do we do them?
Awesome, man.
So anyway, that's the conversation that I want to have. And
well, can we just introduce ourselves and keep going? I think that's usable stuff.
That is usable. It's like that. There's a couple other things that I do want to embellish on in the conversation. But anyway, so my name is Jaywood Casey.
Fernando Lopez Jr.
This is the MentalEdge Podcast.
Yes, we're about to start it out with
Fire it up.
Yeah, what makes us feel like men, or how'd you say it again?
Yeah, so what makes you feel like a man? Yeah. And then why do you do what you do?
Why do we do what we do?
Because that's a question I think we need to ask ourselves, because we're going to be telling people, guys, this episode is going to push us over the 10,000 listen mark. That's right. That's a major podcasting milestone. Please hold all of your applause to the end of the episode so as not to hurt the other podcasters' feelings. All right, scratch that. Go ahead and cheer. Woo-hoo. And that's a big deal to us.
Yeah, it is.
And we're not able to be here as much as we used to, Fernando, because I do believe even when you do something, there'll be seasons in life where you reel back a little bit because you're busier. Yeah. You don't have to abandon it.
No, and we've also been coming up with good ideas.
Yeah, you got some good stuff coming.
Right?
I'm really excited about some stuff you got.
We're not going to talk about that today.
Yeah, no.
Today is different. Today we're talking about. Do you want to start off with this? Well, you already told kind of the story.
Yeah, but I'll go into it a little bit. I'll go into it a little bit deeper. More. So I started thinking about that guy. So to recap, even though we were going to scrap the beginning, I'm jogging from my house towards Main Street. I'm going to do my loop. I'm going to come back. On my way out, I see the guy walking towards his walker. He's got this kind of grand front porch, so I've seen him on it many times. Yeah. He's walking towards his garage with his walker. No caretaker out there with him. No, whether it's a relative or somebody that seems to be with him. Yeah. And then on my way back, I'm not knowing what he's. It's just I'm thinking to myself, he's headed to his garage. Like, who knows what the poor guy's got to do, right? And I don't mean poor, but I mean, the guy's got things going on, and he's moving, and it's difficult. Right. So then when I realized, I came back, and I'm like, oh, he's the guy on his really nice riding lawnmower, cutting his own grass, still doing something that reminds him of what he used to do when he was really capable. I thought to myself, man, Junior, this guy can't shovel his own snow. I'm complaining about mowing my grass 3 days a week. He's probably been waiting all winter long so that he can assassinate that grass because it reminds him of feeling like a man. And, man, there's so many things that I think I do purely because it makes me feel like a man.
Yeah, I love that. When you sent that over, I didn't get the whole gist of it kind of like I did now. But there are certain things. So I realized after this July will be 1 year I haven't hit the gym. In July.
Right, because of you dealing with something, right?
Because I'm dealing with something. But working out, lifting weights, been doing it since I was 14 years old or whatever. I don't know, writer's age, right? You and I both got into that kind of stuff back then.
At a very young age, that's correct.
Young age, right? It makes me feel like a guy, man. It makes me feel good. So, and it's funny because today, actually this last week, I'm coming in to work and someone left a pair of 40-pound dumbbells by the door.
By your door? On the way to your work?
On the way into the shop.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, man. So I looked at them. Not gonna lie, I was tempted. And I'm like, Then all week I've had. This sounds crazy, but like somewhere in my dream, I ended up lifting up.
Them bad boys been haunting you.
They've been haunting me, right? So I walk into work yesterday, and they're gone. And I'm like, dang. I had an opportunity because I thought to myself, you know what? I'd like to, curl those things a few times.
Give them a run.
Yeah, let me give them a run, right? So this is it's so funny because it actually goes a lot with what you're talking about. So I end up going into work today with the idea to go find the weights, right? So
look, I got this project due.
Yeah, they can't.
I'm gonna be a minute.
They haven't gone that far, right? So I end up coming in, and nobody's. It was early in the morning. I walk around, I don't see them, and then I'm like, I wonder if they're in that closet. So I go over to the closet, and lo and behold, there they are.
These things are stalking you.
Yeah. I grab them, and I'm like, you know what? I walk towards my office. I'm like, I'm going to put them right by my office. And this is what I had told myself a week ago, but didn't do it. I said, every day I'm going to come, I'm going to do a few sets throughout the day.
There you go.
Try to get myself back into it,
put your toe in the water. Right? Let me dip it. Let me dip it in that water, man.
Water, yeah. So I put them down right next to my desk. And before I actually put them down, I'm like, maybe just get a...
Yes,
take them for a run right now. And I did. So I thought it was going to be an entire year before I get to do anything. Yeah. And I felt really good, man. I'm excited to tell that story. Look, nobody would ever have known I did that.
No.
Right? And I don't really, the reason I'm sharing it is not because, I'm just saying it felt really good to get them bad boys up and going. Is that thing red or green?
See how that little red record button is down there on the bottom?
Yeah,
so we're good.
Yeah, sorry about that. So anyway, that was my story.
But let me just ask you a question. So I've learned that, like, when I'm more physically capable, I feel more like a man.
Yeah.
I do, right? So then
There's
when
parts
there's
of
a
that
rollback
yeah.
that attacks the way you feel about yourself, because you have an expected status of the way you should feel, right, Junior?
Yeah. And the thing is, okay, so I had to keep telling myself for almost a year, like, it's okay that I'm not doing this.
Sure.
There's something else going on,
Yeah.
I have to, but it did play a little bit on my psyche, you know, and you put on your favorite shirt, don't fit the same way it used to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So there's that's happening. It's not because of vanity. It's because it really feels good when someone asks you to open a jar of peanut butter, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? Man, this last year has been a struggle.
Yeah. And we are getting a little bit older, so there's already some rollback.
Right. Yeah.
But a big rollback, that's you're not ready for that.
No.
You deserve better.
Yeah. Yeah. And so little things like that, that on the physical side, that also plays with psychologically. When you have someone come up to you, another guy come up to you, and kind of rough you up a little bit.
Yeah.
You're looking a little light.
Yeah.
Feeling a little light. I'm like,
I think I could take you.
Yeah.
I remember what you did with, when you stole little Kimmy by the monkey
bars.
bars.
My son hits me with that all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sonny boy hits me with that all the time.
Yes. I know.
Wait, what do you mean you know?
No, because Ryder hurt me. He hurt me a couple weeks ago. I mean, a couple months ago. And I've been recovering. I haven't had to deal with it as much as you. Yeah. Yeah. So I get it. I mean, and it slowed me down, Junior. So I know. I can't imagine a whole year, though.
No, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
It's been wild, especially when you were used to getting up at 5:30 every day.
I had to make some adjustments, right? But just like that man who mows his grass, I think I'm going to be able to make those adjustments. I think I'll always be able to choose, as long as the Lord's willing, some way. Because one of the things that does bother me, and I don't want to get too far off track, is it does bug me when someone will ask us some advice about something, maybe lifting weights, maybe starting a podcast.
Yeah.
And then we'll say, like, I don't have time in my lives, guys, for too much fluff. So Fernando and I will just tell you the truth. Lovingly tell you the truth. Try to do it the way Jesus did it. We're not as good as him, obviously, but I'm going to tell you the truth. And what some people will stop at, they'll say, oh, I can't do that. And then what I really wish you'd learn to say, just like my buddy who was mowing the grass, you'd say, I can't do that, but I think I can do this. Right? All right. I can't do that, so this is what I do.
Yeah.
They're not done at I can't do that, right? If we were done, Junior, when we were using a cheap $$ GoPro,
right?
We started with what we started, but when we ran into hiccups, COVID, we just kind of worked around it, and now we're knocking on the door of 10,000.
Yeah.
And what's our motivation? What made me feel like a man? When Fernando sends me a message from somebody who knows him and loves him and feels compelled to say, bro, that one episode, it touched me.
And if you go back to episodes 1, 2, 3, 10, what pushed us to continue was Stargazer 256 from where was he from?
I don't know.
Like, he was from far away.
There was Istanbul. People from Istanbul.
It was just
were
like
listening.
one guy, one person, and we told each other if this makes a difference in one person's life. I forgot that. If this makes a difference in one person's life, we continue to say that. That's the reminder. So that is a reminder to me, and man, that's a little bit. That one got me right there. I felt my heart exclaim right there, like wow. That's an amazing reminder of why we do this, and that does make me feel manly.
It does.
And this is why. It makes me feel manly because I'm saying we're going to do something, and we do it.
That's the bottom line. Like,
right?
It's to completion, right?
Yeah, we see it to the completion, and, and that's, man, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
I know you got some more stuff to say.
No, I don't really. I want to keep going.
I put men always want to fix the problem or minimize the problem, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what we're known for, right? And that's what a lot
Minimize
of people
its
say.
effect, right?
Yeah, but that's the difference. It's like sometimes it's not derogatory. Some people might try to use it as a derogatory claim towards the man. Oh, they're always trying to fix everything. Well, if we weren't always trying to fix everything, 98% of these buildings in downtown Hobart wouldn't be around, wouldn't have been created. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, fallen, right? But also
would have been created.
They would, or they wouldn't have been put up, resurrected.
Right.
You know, the bricklayers, all these different people,
all these hard trades,
all these hard
by
trades.
hardcore men, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
by hardcore guys. So that said, the probably minimize, like you said. What'd you say? Minimize the what?
The impact of something on
you.
We're impactful, minimizing the impact of the problem.
Yes,
right. That's our goal all the time.
That's our goal, right? So, a couple other things that came to mind was like to be a man, give him something to do.
Man, give him
right?
something to do.
Give him something to do, and more importantly, when you give him something to do, this goes for your sons.
Yeah.
This goes for a father towards his son, or even a wife towards her husband. Make sure it's genuine, because that's going to be important too, right?
That's right.
And then the last thing I put was, because sometimes when we are doing these things, we for as hardcore as guys can be or get, sometimes there is a sliver of, am I good enough?
Yes.
Do I
there's a big
have what it takes?
I would call mine a pie. I see a piece of pie. It's more of a
your
large
slice
of pie.
Is a large pie. Yeah. So it is important to make sure that we do what we say we're going to do. This show, we wanted to make an impact, even if it was in one person's life, and that's why it was important to us. And that's us getting on, our lawnmower. Just like your friend, right? Or the guy down the street.
I want to be his friend, but he don't seem too keen.
Yeah, well, cut the hair. Maybe he'll.
Yeah, he's got long hair, so that's how I'm like, yeah. Oh, he's got kind of long.
Man.
He got this hippie hair too, man.
Or maybe he doesn't like that. You're what do they call it? Like, maybe he sees you as a threat.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, I'm just messing around.
Like Chucky, maybe.
But other words that came to mind, things that make me feel like a man: stability. Right? Like, how do you like that one? What do you think about stability?
I love stability.
Yeah.
I love it. I was just talking with somebody today when I got out of a meeting, and I can feel myself becoming a little bit of an older man. And what I mean is, he said, Jay, I cannot believe that I just told my wife to buy me 5 pair of these pants and don't buy me any other pants for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
He said, you want to know why? Because they work. I said, welcome to the world of the white New Balance. Yeah. Because they work, right? Yeah. So we want to be effective, and we don't really. You almost evolve into this creature that, in order to be more impactful and to be more effective, you don't want the frivolous things in life.
Yeah.
Right. So then you hone your life down to being highly capable in your wheelhouse and to be effective for the people that you love the most. And then that's why a few weeks ago, the thing that I shared on our Mental Edge, like you share the majority of those great sayings come from Fernando. Once in a while, I'll feel inspired. And I think what I said was, today, message a man in your life and tell them that they made a difference.
Yeah.
I don't know why God dropped that one on me, but I do feel like, just like Fernando said, I think we're looking, for things to fix, because the most important thing in our heart is to feel relevant in the lives of the people we love.
Amen.
And that's why, even though someone was, the dude told me I waited too long to clap back. Like, yeah, that's what he said. So someone made a negative comment on an episode that Fernando shared to a large audience.
Yeah, talk to me.
Yeah, and then what that guy didn't know was Fernando had also shared with me just before that guy and his smart $$ comment. That's fine, guys. It's fine. We know you don't get the fame without a little of the blame. We know it. Yeah. Fernando had already shared a message from somebody that said the episode meant a lot to him. He said, the guy said, this was such a great episode. And then someone throws out there, dude, why are you making content when no one's watching it?
Yeah.
Right. So my heart was primed, and I got a little defensive. But in a way, sometimes you got to stick up for your shiznit.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes I tried to end with it well, but I had that feeling of, because believe me, Fernando and I, 4 years into this, are like, are we still making episodes and still talking to our friends? And because it makes me feel like a man. That's right. To share my experiences as a man. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And also it's about legacy, right?
Legacy, which I sure is certainly a stability thing, right?
Yeah, it's just you have legacy. Another word that pops into my head right now: purpose. Legacy, purpose. Right
there, it is.
Yeah, it gives me a purpose. So yeah, it might not be writer, but maybe writer's kid is going through the archives of the Mental Edge and runs across great grandpa's stuff, and our grandpa's stuff, and he's like, man, grandpa was cool.
He was cool, and
he had, well, you know what? Here's another word that just popped into my head. You know what makes me feel like a man too? Seeking wisdom, right?
Yeah.
So this kid in the future runs across the wise words that grandpa put down back in 2023, 2019. While you're,
well, I'm on my way to the garage. This stuff always ties together. It's a miracle.
And he hears about another thing that makes you feel like a man: delayed gratification. Because he was on his way to, he's living a life where he's gratifying himself, and he's like, man, why'd grandpa say delayed gratification? Maybe he has something going on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I'm in my delayed gratification.
Yeah. And he's like, well, why does grandpa say it's okay as a man to feel discomfort? Yeah. Right? Does he always have to be comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Maybe and then the thing that makes me, I guess, smile the most as I'm sitting here talking to you is I rewatch the videos sometimes as I'm looking for the thumbnails.
Yeah.
And there's these deep man laughs that you and I have, right?
Yeah.
It's not like this whimpering, like he. No, man, we're owning that we are laughing like God, and that makes me feel like a man. Laughing deep makes me feel like a man, and owning it, that makes me feel like a man. All those little things that this purpose that was put in your heart to write a book, and then I was inspired to document, and together it sparked the Mental Edge, where we want to, talk about these things and
progress.
Progress. Man, that all these things are what makes us men feel like men. And as I'm sitting here talking, we should collect the 34 guys that are watching our video, men and women, whatever, and one day have a little open house, Mental Edge open house for the 34 people, and maybe that guy that wrote the message will come through and see why it means so much to us. You know?
It's been amazing. One of my favorite things, Junior, as we approach the 10,000 listen mark, so I know we're kind of jumping around, but if you think about it, it's all related. We always like to show it's related. But there's been times where I know that my wife or my son doesn't listen to this content. But you know what? Like I could have jumped off a building and not been hurt. Was when one of Ryder's friends randomly says, I listened to your podcast. And I said to one of them one day, I said, hey, would you do me a favor and listen to it and tell me what you think? They said, oh no, I love it.
Wow.
There's a deep laugh, I guess. And I'm like,
there's a deep laugh.
Well, that fuels me for another year.
That's it.
Right there.
That's all it takes.
You know?
And that's beautiful. I did write down things that don't make me feel like a man, if you want to hear any of those, right? Losing my shiznit, as you would say. Losing my cool. You know? Sometimes that doesn't make me feel like a man.
No. I love that you're touching base on this. So this is so good, Junior, that you're saying that, because the way I want to say this is, I think that in life, I've really thought other things would make me feel like a man.
Yeah.
And as I've matured, I've realized that in most cases, it's the ironic other direction.
Yeah.
instead of blowing up, it's staying cool. Why somebody needs the Heimlich.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just different, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I do believe, Junior, that you're probably knocking on some stuff right here that I want to talk about real quick because I want you to keep going because let's be honest, doing things that make you feel like a man is important, but not doing things that won't make you feel like a man is important.
Oh yeah.
So keep going, please. You got some more.
The fear of not taking the first step, right? So the fear of not taking the first step, because we could have just let this thing sit. Yeah. Right? And we didn't. We talked about it. We said, it was another thing. We talked about content over creation. We decided,
I love that.
We're going to say, hey, this is a little GoPro. We're just going to use that.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Let's get it.
How are we going to edit it? I don't know. We'll
figure
that out later. How are we going to record it? You know what? I sing into a microphone and play my guitar. We'll just use those mics.
We'll just do that.
Right? So you got anything to say about not taking the first step?
So the word that has been playing over in my head, I want to have a whole episode on this, is reluctance.
You've heard it. Next week, reluctance.
Well, next week we have a guest.
We have a guest.
We'll get there. But we are going to talk about reluctance. Yeah.
Yep. And then comparing.
Comparison mode. Oh my God, Junior. Oh my God. It's the death. It's the death of men. It's a death of a fulfilled life. Yeah. God, I'm so glad you said that. Yeah. So those are the things that you think would make you feel like a man.
Yep. And one more. Dependence on others' opinions.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many guys, if you think about it, that they care what everybody thinks about them.
Everybody.
Right? Mm-hmm. Guys, there should be a very small triangle, right?
Yeah.
You at the top, maybe one or two of your closest friends, and those should be the ones that you call on.
That's right.
Those should be the one. Yeah. That's the opinion. If anyone's opinion matters, your opinion should matter first. But number two should be, if there is one, should be a someone you really trust and have built a relationship with.
Yeah.
You can call at any time, and they're ready to listen to you about any type of whatever you got going on, because that's important. But worrying about what everybody thinks about you, that's not gonna make you feel like a man.
And that guy did get to me, Yeah.
Junior, I want to know a little bit, but tell me more.
It did.
Can you tell me a little bit of what you're back and forth?
Oh, we were going back and forth, and of course, one of the things I do is, and so I just want to say this. Okay, check this out. I can't look in your camera, but I look at mine. So Junior really said, have your triangle, your circle of people whose opinion you trust. Mm-hmm. Listen, guys, I listened to that guy. I really did. I did not listen to him. I didn't dismiss him right away, but the first thing I did was click and see like, well, who? Oh, I said, I'm sorry. I should have checked with you and your 26 followers to make sure. So now it's kind of mean. It's kind of mean, right? But what I was saying is that I was a little mean, but I was saying is that I am considering the source.
Yeah.
Right?
I love when you say that. It's true. Consider the source.
Consider the source.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Now, this has happened to me before, all right, in podcast land or Facebook world, where someone laughs and will write something.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of the more recent ones where something about the hashtags not making like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it was. Something about like, basically in that hashtag, it was something about us being Jesus guys, Yeah. So that one got to me a little bit, and I'm like, it was kind of like the same thing you were going through. I wasn't having it that day, and I'm about to unleash. What do you call it? The warrior fingers or whatever.
Yeah. You got the digital balls. Here we go. I'm just joking. You do got balls.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm not having it today. And then I did the same thing. I clicked on their little, photo.
You did some research.
Yeah. So I click on it, and I realize that there is no photos of this person. They're all like cartoon So I don't, like all the content was so, I would never figure out who this person is. If you click on anything, you could find out my whole entire life if you click, because I have nothing to hide.
That's right.
At all.
That's right. You're transparent. Well, you're also very good looking. So what will I hide?
No, and so yeah. And I said this before, and I still stand by it. Like, if you think you know my entirety of my life by the 9-second clips we put up.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Like that. Those are just highlight reel of a life. That's not, like we're smiling in every picture.
Yeah. And that does fuel comparison mode a little bit, right? It really does.
It does, yeah.
It does.
I told you before, I use social media. A lot of times I use it just to catalog photos.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to go back and look through my life or have somebody there and be like, oh, man, they got a good-looking wife, good-looking family. No more. I used to have books where you look through that stuff. Now people just go through your catalog online.
Now, don't worry, your kids are going to throw them in a dumpster if you still got them in your garage.
If you still got them in your garage, they don't care. They don't care about none of that stuff. Got a nice car, they'll sell it. I've seen all kind. Yeah, there was I just saw that online the other day. There was they inherited like a really cool car that had been in the family for 60 years. And
what can I get for it?
Yeah, that's all they cared about was getting rid of it. So one of those things. But I think that's all I have for the things that don't make you feel like a man.
Yeah, I think that was good stuff anyway, man.
Yeah.
And that was the gist is, we want you to do the things that make you feel like a man, no matter how hard they are.
Right.
But we definitely want to make sure that you're not, we want to talk about whether or not we're doing things that make us feel like that fake man. Because you don't want to make negative progress. You want to make positive progress as a man, because those will lead you down a really destructive path of having the wrong mindset. So, so what I want to say is, and this is, I'm cutting the edge of the grass here when I say, cutting grass and kicking ass.
Just make that up right now.
Yeah, man. So get to cutting that grass and kicking that ass. Anyway, obviously there's going to be 3 preachers that say they didn't listen to it because of that. But we love you anyway. And we're just joking. So everybody relax. So I do feel like a man today, Fernando, as we approach the 10,000 listen mark. Wow. I'm excited. And
how cool is that?
And you know what can happen in this world today? 10,000 can become 100,000 overnight.
Yeah. Amen.
So we appreciate every time you guys like or share, or most importantly, make us feel like a man by hitting us up and saying, hey, that meant a lot to me.
Oh, yeah.
If it really did, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right?
Yep.
My name is Jay Casey.
I'm Fernando Lopez Jr.
This has been the MentalEdge Podcast.
We out.
Sincerely hope you enjoyed this episode of the MentalEdge Podcast. Please remember to like, subscribe, follow, and share. Until next week, we out.